Thank you for coming. I want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today for a fun Zoom event that will allow you to learn about and book a spot on our 2022 Christmas Markets River Cruise through Germany, Austria, and Hungary with land extensions in both Prague and Budapest. Please note that we are here to learn about a real life travel opportunity. So if you're mistaken and you thought this was a virtual tour, or if you're on the wrong meeting, it is no problem. You could just exit and we will not be offended. That's not a problem. This is a Zoom webinar, so you cannot be seen or heard. Your video and your microphones are inactive, but please feel free to use the chat and the Q&A feature. Try to reserve the Q&A feature for questions that relate directly to the real life trip, if you could. So I'm going to be going back and forth a little bit to my two monitors. So if you see me looking over, it's not because I'm distracted. I'm actually doubly engaged with this experience. So for those of you who have stayed on, thank you. It is wonderful to see so many people join us today. I think we are at over 100 people, and it is growing as we go. So please know that we have a crowded little room, and the only way we could have done this with social distancing is through Zoom. So thanks, and thanks for joining us. There will be two of us presenting today, and I know that both Kathy and I are so excited to share this amazing adventure with you and invite you all to join me on this wonderful journey through the Upper Danube, as it's called. So before we get started in true Girl Scout tour fashion, when we have a meeting, I wanted to have a little bit of fun and give away a few door prizes. These are some travel essentials that I always carry with me when I leave the country. So I thought I'd gift them to 3 of you lucky attendees today. So what I've done is I've put the numbers of all the registrants into a wheel, and I'm going to spin that wheel. Each of you has been designated a number in alphabetical order based on your registration. When the number is called out, I'm going to go to the corresponding spreadsheet. The person that correlates to it has won, and if you could verify your name and your email in the chat, that will claim your prize. If you are not here, we will go down to the next person in the alphabet in line, and hopefully we'll have a winner declared pretty quickly. So our first prize is a luggage weigher. And I know from my perspective, this is always something I carry in my carry-on so that I can weigh luggage when I'm on tour. So I'm just going to share my screen to the wheel so that you can see it. And I'm going to spin the wheel. And when it stops, you can't even see. There's so many people signed up for this event that you can't even see the number. So it was number 363. I will tell you what that correlates to if you bear with me. If you just bear with me 1 minute, I'm going to go to 300 and what was it, 363? 363. Kathy, feel free to help me in if that's the case. Okay, so Nancy Wells, are you on the call? Nancy Wells is the winner. I'm going to give you a minute. Nancy Wells. I don't see a Nancy Wells coming forward. The next person down is Mary Welsh. You know we're in the W's, right? So it's Mary Welsh. I'm going to put Mary Welsh, Mary Warner. The first person to step up in the chat that I mentioned is going to be the winner. Audrey West. Here, Mary Warner, you are the winner. So if you could just chat me your email address to verify that, Mary, I would love that. I appreciate it. And then we're going to go to the next, thing, which is a money holder. I always use a money belt, and it's always something that I really treasure when I travel. So I'm gonna spin the wheel. And the winner is $292. So 292 is the winner. I'm gonna go back to my spreadsheet. We have 292. 292 is Kathy Rubert. Are you here, Kathy? I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna put the next couple of people in the alphabet, and the first one to claim the prize. We have Kate Rubery. If your last name is an R, get ready. Kathy Russ. Kathy Russ is here. Awesome. So Kathy, if you just put your email in the chat, I'd appreciate that as well. And then we're going to get to prize number 3. Prize number 3 is one of the most exciting things that I found when I was traveling, which is this universal adapter plus USB. So I absolutely love it. I want to share it with somebody, and I want to purchase one for you. So let's see who's going to win the adapter. And the winner is, let's see, 337. So 337, let's see who you are. 337 is Maria Paz Torres. Are you here, Maria? Okay, we're gonna go to the next one. Layla, oh, Maria's here. Maria's here. Maria, so if you could just put your email in there. We have now given away our 3 door prizes. So thanks so much for joining us. It's funny. I always like to do this in physical meetings. So I thought, hey, what the heck? We'll try this in a virtual meeting as well. So let's get right into it and talk about what we're going to cover tonight. So let's review a little bit. So obviously I'm going to just tell you again who I am. We're going to discuss where we're going. We're going to talk about our travel partner, what's included and what's not, their safety approaches. And at the end, we're going to toast and reserve our spots or just celebrate travel in general. Okay, so as I move on, I'm going to talk a little bit about myself. Most of you know, if you know me from the virtual tours, or if you know me from Girl Travel Tours in our group, you know that I'm a travel enthusiast. I've been traveling since I was in college, and it has never stopped. I am a group leader. I travel with my group when we're doing groups, and I take care of our travelers. And I also am an independent travel agent, so I plan trips for other people as well. You know, some of my best traits, my best qualities are that I am extremely organized, and that helps when you're a group leader. I have endless energy. People say I don't sleep, and if you've been on tour with me, you will totally believe that I don't sleep. And I think I have so much energy that I can't sleep in some cases. I advocate for my travelers, no matter where we are and what's going on. And based on our little spin the wheel gifts, you could say that I'm a little bit fun. Some people have said, you know, they don't understand Girl Travel Tours. Don't let the name fool you. Our tours are for men. They are for adults. They are for sometimes family-friendly tours. And we are migrating to use both names, which is Getaway Travel Tours as well as Girl Travel Tours. So as some of you know, our virtual tours went viral under the name Girl Travel Tours. So I have really kept that name going so people would understand who was putting things on. So make a note of the dates. Where are we going? The Amawaterways cruise is from December 11th through the 18th in 2022, with a pre-tour 3-night option in Prague and a 2-night post-tour option in Budapest. And for those of you who've been on virtual tours with me, you'll be thrilled when we make some stops in countries where we will meet up with the guides that we've met on our virtual tour series. So the next thing I want to talk about is our travel partner. It was with great consideration that I chose Amawaterways as our river cruise partner. When I first looked at which river cruise partner we were going to be working with, I did a lot of research, and I compared many reviews, websites, and benefits. So I chose Amawaterways because they are the highest rated luxury brand river cruise out there. I also know that they care deeply about the people who travel with them, as well as their staff and the people who will be serving us. So they have small 2-balcony ships, which is very unique in the industry. They also have amazing cuisine activities. They have many inclusions. I don't think you will be disappointed. I am so thrilled to have had selected Amawaterways, and I have invited Kathy from Amawaterways to join us today, so she can share all of the specifics about Amawaterways, the ship that we'll be traveling on, which is the Amalia, its benefits, and our itinerary. So I'd like to introduce Kathy DiVincenzo, who will be sharing more about Amawaterways and our tour. So Kathy, I'm going to stop sharing at this point so that you can pick up the presentation and take it away and give us an in-depth overview of Amawaterways.
Well, thank you so much. And everyone, thank you for joining us. And I'm going to explain to you why Amawaterways is the highest rated luxury brand of river cruising and some of the unique things that we do that others don't. And I saw in the chat box, a few people have sailed on us. So thank you for that. And I'm going to start with my very favorite way to start to put you in the mood to cruise, and it's a video. Well, I hope that put you in the mood to cruise. Now, AMA is a family-owned company. Rudy Schreiner, our president and founder, ironically started another company called Viking and another company called Uniworld, and a third company he tweaked, it's called Avalon. He's considered the father of modern-day river cruising. His beautiful wife, Christine, started in travel in Dresden, Germany, and when the wall fell, she went to California, and that's where their love story started. And Gary's family owned a company called Brendan Vacations. Gary's dad, Jimmy Murphy, sold it in 2002 to get the money to start Amawaterways. So we're a very approachable family-owned company. And when we decided to start the company, Rudy wanted to put passion, purpose, and innovation into everything we did. Rudy's an architect and an engineer. So what he did is he wanted to create our ships differently than the others. He created something called a shallow draft. That means we can sail in shallow water when our competitors cannot. That was never really a big deal until 3 years ago. There was a 105-year drought in Europe. We were the only river cruise company who made all of our sailings. But we have some other things that make us special as well. And I'm going to go through it in the presentation. So on the top deck, we have all different levels of sun and shade. We have a running track. In front of that, a heated pool with a swim-up pool bar. Then the deck drops down safely about 4 feet, and you sit out in country club casual seating and you watch the scenery go by. Now, besides being a hands-on family-owned company, we are also a very solvent company. And as the world comes out of COVID, this is going to be an important thing in making your decisions. Amawaterways is 100% debt-free. Whenever we build a ship, we pay cash for it. This year, we have 3 brand new ships coming out, the Ama Siena, the Ama Lucia, and in Egypt, we have the Ama Dahlia. We also reconstructed 2 ships all the way down to the steel. That is the Ama Verde and the Ama Bella. We are also stewards of our environment, and we believe in sustainable tourism and minimizing our carbon footprint. Now, oceans take you to countries and rivers take you through them. When you're on the rivers, you are more of a cultural immersion. What will you do is sail at night. You'll pull into the port about 6 in the morning. Then from 7 to 9, you'll have your breakfast. Then you'll go on your morning tour. Then you'll come back to the ship for lunch. The ship might even sail during lunch. You'll be in your spot for your afternoon tour. So after lunch, you'll go on your tour. Then because we're parked in the heart of the downtown, it's easy on, easy off, so that you can maximum affect your time. And what I like to do is go back into the town. I hit the museums, the restaurants, the bars, the shops, and then I'll come back to the ship for happy hour. But a little fun fact is the ships were originally pulled by ropes and donkeys. So what we've done is paved those pathways, and those are now our bike paths. Now, where do we go? We have 2 ships in Portugal. We have 5 in France. We do Paris and Normandy, Paris to Le Havre, Bordeaux, Provence, and Burgundy and Provence. We start at the top of the Rhine in Amsterdam. We sail down to the Rhine-Main, connect with the Rhine-Main Canal, connect with the Danube, and go as far south on the Danube as Jeju. Then we do Vietnam and Cambodia, and we do Egypt starting in September of 2021, and we do South Africa. Now, this is what the ship is going to look like when you board at Christmas time. And on our ships, we do Christmas, 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 and more Christmas. So every ship has a little bit of a different color scheme and vibe, but you get the picture. It is Christmas all around. Now, this is the lounge area of our ship, and the lounge is the heart of the ship, and this is where the action happens. Do you know what the most popular thing is here in the lounge? It's a barista machine, fresh ground coffee 24/7, tea, hot chocolate. All the seating is done in country club casual, so it's really conducive to making new friends. Every night there's going to be a show. The show's going to be indigenous to the destination. And then after the show, we're going to have a musician that is going to play the night away. Everybody just loves to get up and dance in our ships. Now, I do these presentations all over the country, and the one question I get asked no matter where we are is, do you have a restaurant or any place to eat besides your main restaurant? Well, my answer is, of course, our other restaurant, the Chef's Table, but we also have food here in the lounge. So we start in the morning with just a continental breakfast. And for those folks who already said that they've sailed on us before, I have a little surprise. What we're doing now when we start sailing on May 12th is we are going to have for lunch, instead of soup and sandwiches, we're going to have pizza and burgers and a sandwich of the day, salads, grab and goes, because a lot of people indicated to us that they wanted to have more time in port between the tours. So we've created some other options, but we are still going to have our menu service in the dining room. We do have English high tea with all of the different pastries and things at high tea. We have tapas of the day at the bar, and at happy hour, we're going to have hors d'oeuvres, and later on in the evening, we will have a small buffet. Now, this is the bar area of the ship. And we like to say we're inclusive, but not all inclusive, because Christine wants to make it fair for those folks who don't drink. So what we do is champagne in the morning, beer and wine at lunch and dinner, and it's only fine wine. So you don't have to pay any kind of an upcharge, because some of our competitors actually do charge for that. Then the hour before dinner is a full menued open bar happy hour. So again, there's a lot of things included, so it makes it fair for everyone. Now, I mentioned the sip and sail cocktail hour. We do have the traditional captain's welcome on the first night, so that there will be different wines and champagne, and then you can see the menu near the lady in the red dress. You'll choose from the items in the menu. It is a very extensive menu, and as a result, I know now I like lemon drop martinis. Now, I mentioned the onboard entertainment. You're seeing the lady with the violin. We have a band called La Strada, and La Strada goes from ship to ship. She's a member of that group. So everyone gets to have one performance from La Strada. They are fantastic. Then you'll get different things that will be indigenous to the destination. There might be singers, dancers, all different array. And then you'll have this every single night. Now, this is the library. It's a nice quiet spot. I like to duck in here and do my crossword puzzles. It's got 2 cozy fireplaces, games, books, and it's just a nice respite. Now, this is our average cabin. Our long ships and everyone else's long ships are the same size. We just put a lot less people on our ship in a lot bigger cabins. These range from 210 to 235 square feet. It has a traditional balcony with 2 chairs and a table, and we have a French balcony in the sunroom. And we do have a very spacious marble bathroom. The cabin has got marble, granite, hardwoods, and it's very comfortable. Now, this is the French balcony stateroom. These are 170 square feet. That is a sliding glass door that opens to make it look like your cabin is extending into the river. It is not a step out balcony. Now, this is our triple occupancy cabins. This is a chair that turns into a bed. It is intended for a child from 4 to 17. Now you're noticing those plastic water bottles, and I just said we won green awards. When we started sailing last July 5th, we swapped those out for a biodegradable bottle that kind of resembles a child's juice box. But why is it important that I'm mentioning water? Some of our competitors charge up to $8 a bottle. We're going to have your refrigerator in your room stocked with water. We're going to give you unlimited water on your tours. Now, this is the suites. The suites are very desired. If anybody's interested, they go quickly. They're 350 square feet. It has a sofa that turns into a bed. Behind the slotted wall is bedding for 2. With the suite, you get butler service. And with the butler service, you're going to get flowers, a fruit basket, and champagne in your room.
Kathy, we have 1 suite available.
Well, that is an indication to anybody that's thinking about a suite. Quickly call Mara because they go fast. And if you do want it, there are only 4 with 1 left. The clock is ticking, and I don't like to push people into doing things, but I've gotten into situations with large groups where people have actually gone and asked people to pay them to leave the suite because they want the suites. All of our rooms are gorgeous, no matter what category, but if you do want it, please call quickly. Now, this is our flat screen TV. We have 5G internet capability on all of our ships. So every cabin's going to have a flat screen TV. You're going to get first run movies, music, regular TV, and the internet. So we want to keep you connected. And in that vein, we also give you postcards. You'll have unlimited postcards. We're going to even stamp them for you. Now, every ship has a beauty salon and a spa. You'll make your reservations when you come on board. And we have a gym on every ship. You can do as much as you want or as little as you want. I personally love to work out. What you don't see here is a kinesis machine, which means fancy Bowflex essentially. So if somebody likes to work out with weights, that will be there for you. And again, the gym is great. Swimming pool is another place where you can stay in shape. And I know this is in December. We keep the pool at 90 degrees. 2 years ago, I was on the ship for Thanksgiving. We had 2 ladies in the pool at 2 o'clock in the morning. I had to find them. They were from Erie, Pennsylvania. So I chalked it up to a little bit warmer blood, but people do use the ship all year round. It's a lot bigger in person, and it has plexiglass on 3 sides. And for those of you who like to work out, and I'm one of them, we start every day at 7 a.m. with champagne yoga. We have up to 8 classes a day. They go in half-an-hour intervals. Your AmaCruiser app will indicate where the class is, what time it is, and what it is. We give you your yoga mats. Our wellness instructor does a variety of different things to choose from. And our wellness instructor will also have classes on board on healthy eating and different wellness suggestions. This is all at no extra charge to you. Now, if you haven't had dinner, I apologize. This is an example of our cuisine. It's called Chaîne de Rôtisseur. It's the French equivalent of a Michelin chef. All food is brought on fresh every single day. It's always farm to table. About 4 o'clock in the morning, you're going to smell smells wafting down the hall. That will be the baked goods. Do you know the hardest thing I have to do every day is to back away from the pastry display? But if you have any kind of allergies, please let Mara know. She can just note it in your record. When you come on board, our chef will meet with you. You'll go over different choices, and every day the maitre d' is going to give you your own customized menu, and you'll be able to select from that. But we do have to apologize to our Jewish friends. The kitchen is too small for 2 fridges, 2 stoves, and 2 dishwashers. So We cannot do kosher. It's the only thing we cannot do. Now, this is our main dining restaurant. We have menu service for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, this is our two little wine nooks. They're on the outside of the main dining room. They hold up to 12 people. They're great for private parties like birthdays and anniversaries, or your friends are just a little loud like mine. But it's first come, first serve. It's the same menu as in the main dining room, and it is at no extra charge. Now, this is our chef's table. This is an alternate dining multi-course wine paired dinner. You'll make your reservations when you come on board. The chef does the whole menu behind glass, so it's very pristine. And if you can get additional reservations here in the chef's table, it's still at no extra cost to you. And again, it's just absolutely exquisite and a delight. We do have some competitors that charge up to $225 a person for this, but it's included. Now, this is something that's very important as well. We do a tour in the morning and a tour in the afternoon. The main tour in the morning and the afternoon will come in fast, medium, gentle walkers, and late risers. We're also going to give you choices of hiking tours and biking tours. And keep in mind, this is during Christmas markets, so you're going to have the Christmas markets as well. So there's going to be a whole lot to choose from. All of our competitors only include a morning tour and charge for the afternoon tour. So with us, it's included. The only thing that's not included on any of our itineraries is the concert in Vienna at night. And because this is the Danube itinerary, I just want to mention that when we sailed 2 years ago, it was $65. It wasn't even $100, but you can make that reservation when you're on board. Now, here is one of our beautiful sister ships to the Amalia. This is what it's going to look like, all magical at Christmas time. Now we're going to welcome you. We have our Santa, our angels. We even do some traditional Christmas things. I'm German, so we do the traditional St. Nicholas. We do have some special treats where you can sit on Santa's lap if you like, or on the angels, but it's just a whole gregarious situation where everybody is welcomed, and we just try to have that great Christmas spirit. Now, I mentioned that the ships have different color schemes and things. We even give ornaments to the guests to put around the ship so that they can participate in our decorating. Now, and again, you can see some folks at the Christmas markets, and I'm going to show you some pictures of the markets here and there. I love the markets. What I do is I have 5 little grandchildren, and I get my little grandchildren a Christmas ornament wherever we go. So when their tree is decorated, they're going to have ornaments from all over the world. And I hope someday I'll be able to get them their own. Now, you're noticing the little glasses that the girls are holding. Each one of the Christmas markets has a special glass every year that's just for that market. And you walk around drinking Glühwein, and it's in the Christmas market mugs. People collect them from the different markets on the itinerary, but they'll charge you a nominal fee for the Glühwein and $1 or €1 for the cup. You can return it and get the money back, but most people like to collect them. So what we're going to talk about is iconic Christmas markets on the Danube from Nuremberg to Budapest. And here's the map. So you will board the ship in Nuremberg. You can do a pre-cruise in Prague, which I'll talk about in a minute. Oops, I don't know what happened. I apologize. But I am going to go over a little bit about all the different destinations, but you're going to board in Nuremberg, and you are going to sail south all the way to Budapest, Regensburg, Passau, Melk, Salzburg with the Sound of Music, Vienna. These are all some of my very favorite spots. So I mentioned Prague, and that's a pre-cruise. It's optional, but I would highly recommend it. Prague is a really eclectic city, and it's ironically famous for its crystal chandeliers. But at the end of World War II, Prague was divided amongst the victor nations, and Prague fell under communism, and when the wall fell, it was freed. But when the communists took over, they took the homes from the people that had originally owned them. And Prague back then was this very ornate city, and over all of the windows, and you can see it a little bit in the pictures, they had all this beautiful statuary. There's statuary on the roofs. So when the wall fell, they found the original owners who have restored these beautiful homes back to their original glory. And there's an anatomical clock here in the Prague city center. Underneath the center, there's labyrinths that you can tour. There's a bridge with a whole bunch of different saints on it. My favorite thing is to tour the Prague Castle. And as you're going out the back door of the Prague Castle, you can come on one of the oldest restaurants in the city. It dates back to the 1300s. So Nuremberg is the first city where you're going to board the ship. Now, the Nuremberg Christmas markets are world renowned as some of the best. Now, I love the tour. We do a tour where you can go to some historic type sites in Nuremberg. I love it because I'm a history buff. We take you to courtroom 600, where we do a mini reenactment of the Nuremberg trials. We take you to different World War II sites like the Hitler parade grounds. Again, there's a walking tour to choose from. You can do as much as the tours as you want or as little as you want. If you just want to shop in the markets all day, you can do that. The markets in the center are great. There's different shops there for Glühwein and different restaurants. My husband's a foodie, so he likes to go from shop to shop and just do taste delights wherever we go. So the center will have shops, and all around the periphery are different shops that are permanent there. One of my favorites that's a permanent shop is a gingerbread shop, and it has a whole variety of different gingerbreads. Now, the next stop is Regensburg, and the claim to Regensburg is it is the only medieval city in Germany that was not bombed in World War II, so it is remarkably intact. One of the big stops here in Regensburg is this hat shop, and they have beautiful hats. They make hats for all of the people in the movies and different movie stars and things like that. Johnny Depp wears hats in a number of movies. But if you have time, definitely stop by the hat shop. When I walked in, they said, this one, or this one. There are a variety of choices. Every one of them looked perfect. So I did walk out with the hat. They put your initials in gold on the inside of the hat. The shops are all around the different sites throughout outside of Regensburg. I just like the regular walking tour. I love going into the little restaurants that are there permanently. When you go down to the river in Regensburg, it's the oldest hot dog stand in all of Europe. And it dates back hundreds of years. Right next door to the hospital, next door to the hot dog stand, is this beer stand, and it's called Spittle Beer. And it used to be the hospital, and the hospital made the beer. So the hospital has since closed, but they keep the beer stand there. So people will have their Spittle Beer and their hot dogs, but it's just one of those fun things you do when you're on this itinerary. Now, Passau is another great spot. I love walking through the town, and what we find is little shops where they're going to make different kinds of strudels. My husband and I got on a walking tour, spotted one person that was making them in the window. So we went in and watched them just get it down to very fine and wrap it up, and they baked it, and we had some. We've also done a walking tour. I like the hike to the castle. That's weather permitting, and the ship will stop right in downtown Passau, so you can get easy on, easy off, but just really neat. Right at the tip of Passau is the confluence of three rivers. So you're going to see a brownish color river, a bluish river, which you're looking at now, and on the other side is a greenish color river. So you'll see the different colors and things, but again, a neat and eclectic city. Now, Linz is the home to the Linzer Torte. And that is just one of those taste delights that are on this itinerary that you do not want to miss. The shops are set up where you can see the lights that resemble Christmas trees. Linz is a cute little small town, and it's a not jumping off point from Linz. You can leave on our tour, and the ship will be parked not far from Linz. You can leave on our tour to Chechny Krumlov or to Salzburg for the Sound of Music tour. But again, you do not want to miss the little walking tour of Linz because it is such a quaint little city. And this little square's claim to fame is where Hitler announced the annexation of Austria, which you'll see the balcony right from this square. And I mentioned that this is the jumping off point to Salzburg. Salzburg is one of the hot spots on this itinerary for you Sound of Music lovers. This is one of those do not miss. On the way to Salzburg, we stop in Muncie, and that's where the wedding was filmed for The Sound of Music. But this film was done in various spots throughout the city. The tour will take you to many of those different spots. There's Christmas markets set up through the town, as you can see. This is one that's outside the church. It's a very historic church. But again, you can walk around. One of my favorite things is they have this giant pretzel during the Christmas markets, and either half of it can be dipped in cheese or half in chocolate. So we get the big pretzel and walk around to all the little stands. Now, one of the spots that I love in Salzburg is the fountain where they filmed the singing on the fountain. So if you do happen to visit that, make it a skip around the fountain and sing. And if you're with me, I'm going to do it. My husband used to die when I did it, but Diane Sawyer went and did it, so now it's okay. Now, the other choice you have on that day is to go to Chechny Krumlov. And Chechny Krumlov is a city that is evolving. And it was a Czech city. And again, there's this castle called there's a castle. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name for a second, but it has a bear den, and it's just really neat. But when you walk through the town, you're going to see like all these shops where they make rudimentary toys out of wood and things. And again, it's called the Rosenberg Castle. I apologize for my senior moment. But again, there's so much to do in this town, and you're going to see where it's evolving into capitalism. But another spot on this itinerary is the Wakaw Valley. And the ship's going to sail through the Wakaw Valley. Weather permitting, we have a great bicycle tour. One of my favorite things to do here is to do the Everything Apricot tour. And we also will do wine tasting options. The walking tour through the city is just a beautiful, pleasant city to see. And again, some great shops. My favorite thing here is to do the castle hike. You walk up, it's a 4-mile hike, and again, weather permitting. And the castle here held King Richard the Lionheart captive for a number of time. He was trash talking the king. The king snatched him up. His mother had to pay him ransom to get him out. But the king wouldn't tell the mother where he was. So his army had to run around and find him. And what they did is they heard him singing a song that was a song from his childhood that everyone knew it was his favorite song. They were able to rescue him. But you can go into the cell where they kept King Richard the Lionheart as well. Now, this is a spot that's great. It's in Spitz, Austria, and you can go to this as a choice to do some wine tasting. But the other big hit on this itinerary is Vienna. And Vienna is just fabulous. One of my favorite spots here is St. Stephen's Cathedral. Every time I go, more and more of St. Stephen's has been cleaned up and fixed. It was badly damaged in World War II. A bomb went right through the middle of it. So when you go into St. Stephen's, you're going to see some of the original stained glass that's magnificent, but you'll also see some leaded glass where they could not afford to replace the colored leaded glass. But the main street outside of St. Stephen's has got all these magnificent shops that are very high-end shops, similar to those on the Champs-Élysées in Paris. But we love to walk around, and there's a variety of different stops in Vienna. The Vienna walking tour is fabulous. You're going to want to go to the Soccer Hotel and try this chocolate cake that's called the Soccer Torte. Outside, they have seating and they have heaters if you want, or you can sit inside. But that's one of the fun things to do in Vienna. We go and we have a morning tour and an afternoon tour. And then we have a bus that goes back and forth to the ship all day. So if you want to go back to the ship for lunch, you can. If you want to have lunch in town, you can do that as well. This is a great shopping city for folks that want to shop to the regular shops or the Christmas markets. Oops, and this will end in Budapest. And Budapest is really neat. There's a Buda side and a Pest side. One of the big highlights is the Parliament building. And then on the other side of the river is the Budapest Castle. And the Budapest Castle has all kinds of labyrinths underneath. And again, there's a whole city on that side. But the people in Buda and Pest are very territorial from whichever side they're from. They're both equally as beautiful and historic. But when you talk to them, they'll say, I'm from the Buda or the Pest side. There is a fort that dates back to the 10th century here in Budapest. There's a communist gulag. There's so many things to see. One of my favorites is a tribute in World War II. It's called Shoes along the Danube. There's so many different choices that you can make when you're here in Budapest. And the ship docks right in the heart of the downtown, so you can get right into the downtown. And one of my favorites is there's a multi-level shop, just one shop in from where the ship does dock. But I'm going to give you some pictures of what it may or may not look like when you're on the ship. I've been on a number of times. I've never seen snow on the top deck of the ship, to be honest with you, but this is what it could look like. There's some people enjoying the winter weather. Christmas markets, as I noted earlier, with the different things that you can purchase to bring home. People drinking Glühwein, and there's a variety of different ways to make Glühwein. And Stollen, and again, I was mispronouncing it. I found out from my German friends it isn't stolen, it's Stollen. But this is just something that they make during the winter that's just a taste delight. And we do have some culinary experiences on board out of the ordinary, where we're going to make our traditional Christmas and Thanksgiving foods during the holidays. So again, you won't miss anything when you're on the ship. You'll see the creche displays all over. And the food preparation at the different Christmas markets, I mentioned earlier, my husband's a foodie. So he goes from shop to shop, just tasting everything. Now, here we are welcoming you all on board. And like I said, the weather in Europe is very eclectic. This particular picture was taken New Year's 2 years ago on one of our ships. And this was taken in the Wachau Valley. So you never know what the weather is going to look like in Germany. I always bring what I call stripped down clothes. You can put as much on or as little as you want. I like to layer things so that you can just be prepared for any kind of weather. But we'd like to welcome you as part of the AMA family. We'd like to welcome you on board.
So I think we're going to go to actually looking at some cabins and talking about pricing before we go to questions.
No problem. Let me stop sharing so that you can pick up the slides from there.
Sure. Okay, great. So I just want to kind of go forward with where we are here. And I want to thank you, Kathy, as our travel partner. Now you all know why we chose Amawaterways as our partner, right? It's pretty obvious. Okay, so let's talk about the cabins, right? So the ship has several categories to choose from. It's important to know the decks as you choose your cabins. There are 4 decks. The piano deck is the lower deck. The cello deck is in the middle, and that is at the water level, so that's where we dock. The violin deck is the highest of the levels with cabins on them. And then, of course, you have the sun deck at the very top. As you can see, there are not many cabins on this ship. There's 78 total, and certainly each category has its own limitations. So now, so just be aware, obviously, that they can go fast, and it is first come, first serve. I am using the booking form just to be completely fair to everybody. So it will go in the order of people received on the booking form. So please don't send me an email or call me at this point. Really use the booking form. Obviously, if you can't use that form for some reason, then you'll have to call or email me, and that's fine too. But I'm trying to be fair with the first come, first serve principle. So let's start with the river view cabins. This is the piano deck. There are significant discounts already applied to the pricing above. Some of these discounts include a group discount, a land extension discount, a balcony cabin discount, and even a single supplement discount. These discounts are only good through next week. So please know this is good through Sunday, okay? All cabins in this category are on the piano deck. So if you see that we have a D category, there's only 7 cabins left in that area. And the E category, there are 3 cabins left. If you feel as though you need to document this information, you can either write it down on a little note card, or you can take a picture with your phone or a screenshot, however you want to handle that. You know, I see a chat coming in, and I've addressed this 3 times already, so I'm just gonna address it live so that everybody hears the answer. River boats are river cruises, river ships. They're not like normal ocean liners. You do not get seasick. They are very steady. There's no real sensation of movement like you may have had on an ocean liner. So I just want to put that out there, and have you realize that that's not an issue. So for those people that asked, I'm hoping that takes care of that. So look at this little spreadsheet, and you'll see that there are prices for the double occupancy. The ones that are like highlighted in like a little light orange, that's the double with the Prague extension. And then I put the single and the single with the Prague extension. What I noted on the side was, because of this cabin choice, the Riverview cabin, the reason the discount is applied to the Prague extension is because it is specific to this cabin choice with the Prague extension. I know it gets a little confusing, but I am going to kind of go over each of them, and then we can kind of talk about them if we need to at the end.
And Maura, could I point out something before we move on?
Sure.
Those windows are very much above water. They are not below water. They are not at water level. They are very much above the water.
You do not see the water from the windows.
When I look out of the windows, I look down at the water.
Awesome.
So yeah, don't let anybody, because we do have competitors that the water goes up the window. Ours
okay.
Not.
Okay, duly noted. Great, thank you. So let's talk about the French balcony cabins. These are the ones with the CA or the CB designation, right? And you can see again the double rates, the double with the Prague extension rate, the single rate, and the single with the Prague extension rate. And again, they have the discounts if you're taking the Prague extension. They have discounts regardless, but that is the most notable discount on this type of cabin. And we're going to keep moving up the ladder, and we're going to talk about the French and outside balcony cabins. And I believe Kathy already mentioned that the French doors come open to the open air, and then the balconies actually have 2 more chairs outside so that you can sit outside. But what it does do is it totally opens up your entire side of your cabin to windows, which is awesome. These are the BA and the BB categories. And if you'll notice, the A or the B denotes the violin deck or the cello deck. And that's what's coming into play here. And you'll see that the double rates, the biggest discount, again, highlighted by the little orange, are in the regular double rate, which is $1,000 off right now. That's the discount that's showing the highest discount we can use. Of course, you still have the double with Prague extension, the single rate, and the single with the Prague extension. I'm going to move down a little bit now, and we're going to talk about the next category class. This is, did I just move it? BA and BB, right? So now we're going to go to the AA and the AB level. These are the French balcony and the outside balconies as well, but they're a little bit larger. So the ones we just talked about, I'm going to try to go back to them. They're 210 square feet. The Bs, the BA and the BB, the ABA and the AB, they're 235 square feet. So they're a little bit larger. Also, you find them on the violin deck and the cello deck, but they're a little bit larger. So the price obviously goes up a little bit. And you see, I'm giving you all of the pricing so that you can consider your options. I'm going to go up to the highest level cabin right now, which is the suite cabins. There is actually, at the start of this presentation, there was one available, and that's the SS category. You'll see the pricing for a double with the Prague, single with Prague. Okay, so those are all of the cabins available. If you are a spreadsheet geek like I am, and you want to see everything and compare it, take a screenshot or a photo of this slide, which is the double room pricing for every cabin category, whether you want it double or with Prague, right? So this is a really good screen to see. Now let's talk about what this includes and what it doesn't include. It includes everything on the Amawaterways cruise that we talked about. It does not include airfare. Airfare is not determined yet. We won't know airfare pricing until about 11 months out. So we will determine at that point who wants to buy airfare with the group, who wants to do their own airfare, who wants to use their miles. All of that will be determined at 11 months out. Insurance. There is insurance offered by Amawaterways, but as a travel agent, I can offer group insurance that covers the same medical coverage, but it is group policy, so it is much cheaper. So we can decide that as well, what's best for you in terms of insurance coverage. It also does not include the Budapest land option. The reason the Budapest land option is not included is because the Amawaterways does not offer that on this sailing. So what I did was I worked with our friend Andrea in Budapest, and we came up with a great 2-night land tour in Budapest, which she will be leading for us. Okay, that pricing will become available. It's about the same pricing as the Prague. I think the Prague was 900 or 950. Budapest is right around there. So in terms of giving yourself an idea of what that is, it's about the same. So you'll see that the cabin rates on the doubles, you can save as much as $1,000 per person or per person on those cabins. And if you like spreadsheets, but you're not traveling as a double, I want to show you your spreadsheet, you single people, because this actually gives you the same price of comparisons, and you can really see all the different comparisons from a single standpoint. Again, if you need to take a screenshot, all good. I'm going to move on though. So, okay, so now, what does the girl travel package price include? I think that Kathy really did cover most of this, but I'm just going to kind of run down so that everybody, in case you missed it or in case you logged in later, you'll see. It's the 7-day cruise aboard the Amawaterway Amalia. It's the deluxe accommodations, award-winning cuisine all day, every day, beer and wine with lunch and dinner and happy hour, excursions each morning and afternoon, entertainment, fitness program, bikes to explore, all taxes and port charges, and of course, you know, the priceless addition of having your group leader, me, along with you, and as well a cruise manager who's a dedicated tour director to our group. If you've never traveled with Girl Travel Tours before, you will be in for a pleasant surprise, because along the way, whether before the tour or during the tour, I often throw out some bonuses and extras along the way that make everybody very happy. So I just wanted to mention those inclusions when you travel with Girl Travel Tours. So let's talk about our sip and sail party right now. Of course, we're gonna have advantages for those of you who are at our party today. If you book by March 28th, that's Sunday night at midnight, you will receive the discounted pricing that we showed on the spreadsheets and the slides, which is up to $1,000 off for the outside cabins. You will also, if you're getting the non-balcony cabins, you will also take advantage of the Prague discount. And then, because you're going with me, you're going to have an additional onboard credit, and all cabins with a balcony will get a free upgrade today. So the BBs, the BAs, the ABs, and the AAs will be able to upgrade one level. So if you choose to go BA, you will be billed for BB. I hope that is understandable, and that's how that works, but we can talk individually if that's the case. So with today's add-on options, you're going to save as much as $1,250. So that's pretty darn awesome. Okay, so let's talk about booking it now if you want. No pressure. I know this sounds really salesy, and I'm not really a salesperson, but I'm so excited about this cruise, and I certainly want everybody to travel with me. And I want you just to know all the facts so that you understand that if you book now, you have a better chance of your cabin categories than if you wait. And if you don't book by the end of March, then you have all of this pricing goes away, and then regular pricing comes into play. So it's just a matter of sharing what the opportunities are for those that are ready to go. So what's needed? A $400 deposit. I'm asking for a credit card on the booking sheet, but if you want to change that to cash or check, that's absolutely fine. When is the balance due? The balance is due September 5th, 2022. So from now until then, you are putting up $400 deposit. You can pay as you go if you like that format and you want to, pay as you go, or you could just put it into a separate account on your own and then move it over on September 5th. That's fine too. So let's talk about the cancellation policy, because I do see some people chatting and asking questions about that. As of your booking day, let's assume that's today. As of today, up until 121 days out, your cancellation fee is $200. From 120 days out to 90 days, it's $400. That's your entire deposit. After that, the cancellation charges go up significantly because obviously Amawaterways has put more at stake, so the cancellation fees go up. So 35% from 89 to 60 days, 50% and on and on. You can read the slide. I just wanted to make one note that I think is really important, and I learned this from the Amawaterways team recently when I asked about their COVID policy. What did they do during COVID when the cruises were postponed? This is an amazingly incredible offer that I haven't seen from any other group partner that I work with. They gave 100% refund in money, whatever was paid, or the choice of a $115 voucher for future travel. So that is it. That is just, I think that goes to show you the quality of the company and also the people behind the company.
Maura, let me interject for 1 second.
Sure.
With that refund or the 115% future cruise credit voucher is only if we suspend.
Exactly.
So if we suspend a cruise, that's what we've done in the past. But if someone elects to cancel prior to our suspension, the normal cancellation policies are in place.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And even with that, like I said, the COVID policies that I have been accustomed to with all of my groups that I partner with, nobody has met. That is amazing offering. Let me tell you.
Absolutely do. And we give them up to 2 years on the voucher. And if they wish to extend it, of course we do.
Yep, of course. Okay, so let's talk about booking now, right? First of all, I know I was trying to get my mocktail to look like a cocktail, but it really doesn't, but you can appreciate it, right? So I have ginger ale because I'm a non-drinker. I am still fun though. I'm a non-drinker, but I'm fun. I want to toast not only booking this cruise, but really toast and raise a glass to travel and new adventures in the future. I think it's so important for us to have something to look forward to. So I want to raise a glass to our future travelers. Whether you are drinking a cocktail or a mocktail, I think it's time to let's look and get really excited about things that we can do in the future.
And I'm drinking a Diet Coke.
Okay, awesome. So I guess we're two non-drinkers. So
oh no,
having said that,
presentation.
Okay. So having said that, we're going to go into the Q&A. But before we go into the Q&A, I just want to mention one thing, that after the Q&A, we're going to do another drawing, and it's going to be our final drawing of the evening. And what it is a chance to win 100 euros in cash on the day we sail. So anybody who books will be in this drawing, and one of those people will win 100 euros in cash, and I will give it to you as we sail. So that takes us to the Q&A. And if you don't mind, Kathy, I'm going to start reading off some of these questions. And if I can't address them, you can chime in and we'll kind of go with them together.
No problem.
Okay, so the first question I see is, are the pre and post tours included in the pricing? I think that you saw, right? We have these wonderful charts that I'm gonna sort of go back to, if I can quickly go back to them. The Prague extension is outlined in the chart here in the table. So that is the price of the Prague extension. And as we discussed, the Budapest extension is not on there because it's not an Amawaterways offering, but it will be offered to all the travelers. Okay, so we discussed the insurance policy, so I think you guys all have an understanding of that. Again, those are policies that can be taken from different sources. We have a group policy that we're going to offer, as well as Amawaterways has a policy. And Kathy, can you tell me, Amawaterways is a straight percent of the pricing, is it not?
For the insurance?
Yeah.
It's based on the price, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to go down and see if okay, so how many people on the ship? I think we covered that. There are 78 cabins, right? So that means...
Well, let's give two answers.
Okay.
The ship holds 156 people. Whatever the COVID policy will be with the government when in place will be what we have on board. When we start sailing in May, we have to sail with 100 or less, but we're hoping that immediately changes as the whole COVID environment ceases. So we normally have 156.
Great. So another question was, can you venture off on your own in the various villages? Of course.
Oh God, yes.
Of course. You are all
Absolutely.
adults. You can go off on your own. You do not have to stay with the group. You obviously are encouraged to meet new friends, but if that's not your thing and you really are just using us as a means to get a less expensive price, that's fine too. But I bet you will become friends by the end of the cruise.
And people, that's part of it. It's just to absorb yourself into the city and the culture. There's so much to do and see. And I've been there many times. It's very, very safe.
Okay, so there is one person who says, or a couple people, if you can't get to the booking form, you may have a firewall to Google Forms, and that might be the case. If that is the case, please just chat me your name, your email, and say booking. Just put it in the chat, name, email, and booking, and I will make sure that we address that, okay? We'll take booking in another format. That's absolutely fine. Are there rooms with 2 beds? Of course. If you are traveling with a spouse and you want to share a bed, you could put they will put the beds in together, and they will be 1 bed. Even if you're traveling with a spouse and you just want to get sleep, you can ask for 2 beds. So every room has the choice of whether it has 1 bed or 2 beds.
And let me point out too, that even no matter what cabin category, if the beds are separated, there's still plenty of room to walk around the sides of the bed.
Okay, so fine. So yes, this Zoom is being recorded and will be available afterwards for those of you who came late. I do have a question about wheelchairs. This is really not a tour to go on if you are wheelchair bound. And I'll just use one example because of that. Because of the way you get on and off the ship, sometimes you have to literally go up steps to the top deck of another ship and go down steps to the bottom of another deck of another ship to get off of the deck. And it really just is not conducive to that. So if you're asking because you are wheelchair bound, this is just not the tour for you. And I'm sorry, I'm sure there are handicap accessible tours, but this one just isn't it. I apologize. So if I said $500 onboard credit, that was a slip of the tongue. It is $50 per person onboard credit. I don't know if I was just too excited and I said that. So again, we'll talk about what Amawaterways has done before. If the cruise cannot sail and Amawaterways postpones it, they offer 100% refundable deposits. If it is your choice not to sail, they do not offer 100% refundable deposits. You go for the cancellation policy. Okay. Let's see. So again, the waters are not different in the summer and the winter. It's when you're on a riverboat, it is not treacherous waters because the rivers are shallow and the rivers are narrower, so you don't have that same sensation.
The ship goes very slowly.
Somebody asked what percentage of people are singles. Well, I can tell you generally in my groups, we generally have, oh, maybe, I don't know, a third, 25% of people who travel solo, but are friendly with one another. So whether you're joining us as a single or not, you will certainly not be left alone. We are an all-inclusive group. We have a lot of fun together. You can be as included as you'd like. And but please know that if you wanted to go off on your own, it's fine to do that as well. Pamela, yes, you are confirmed. Does the suite have 2 beds? Yes, it's the same thing. You could choose 2 beds or 1 bed. Okay, I just want to mention these are US dollars. I think I made that clear earlier, but I want to make sure for my Canadian friends and for my European friends, all of the quotes that you saw are in US dollars. If you're traveling from Canada, of course you can join us. We have Canadian people in our groups already, and we welcome, I welcome anybody to travel with us. It's all the more fun. That's absolutely fun. Kathy, you might be able to speak to this one. Is Amawaterways requiring proof of vaccination at this time?
No, whatever the EU decides we need to do, that is what we'll do. We just had a conference call today. We're just waiting to see what the EU guidelines are. We will be in complete compliance, but right now there is nothing in place.
Yep. So what happens if you book a category and it's sold out? I will call you, I will talk to you, and we will figure out if you want to go up or down a category, if you want to change. If you put your deposit down and you're just, sold on that category and no other, of course, I would give you your deposit back.
And we could always waitlist it too.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh, so Kathy says, this other Kathy asks, is there a triple occupancy? Not for 3 adults, there is not. And certainly I don't believe we're going to have young children on this because of the time of year, because it's during school. But if, for example, you had somebody that was like 4 to 6 years old or something, there is triple occupancy because there is a small bench that can be opened to be a bed, but it is strictly for like toddler, child, not normal sized children or adults. So in terms of the adults, no, there's not a triple. What cities do we start and end on? Nuremberg and Budapest. That's the cruise. If you do the pre-tour, it starts in Prague. If you stay in Budapest, you're still leaving from Budapest. I think I got all of the questions. Here's another question about the drinking. What is available to drink during the evening? Kathy, you might be able to speak to this. We talked about wine and beer at the 2 meals and a cocktail hour, but what about the bar in the evening?
Well, we have that sip and sail happy hour, and there is a menu, and you choose from whatever is on the menu. I've seen so much as a Sloan gin, which I had to laugh because I thought that might have come back in style. But the beer, wines, all different kinds of mixed drinks that are on the menu for happy hour, and that's included. Then after dinner, we let you leave the dining room and at lunch with a full glass of beer or wine. After that, it's on your own. It's a full bar. They're very nominally priced, and whatever the current price is. Average price of a beer 2 years ago was $3.80. Mixed drinks were $5 or $6, but again, that was 2 years ago. I haven't seen or been on board lately, so I don't know what the prices are, but that would be pay per drink, but you'll know what those costs are. But it's a full choice bar when you pay for it. So whatever they want, they can also bring, if they're in a town and they run into a shop where there's a really neat kind of wine and they want to bring the wine or a drink. My girlfriend likes a certain kind of Bailey's, so she'll buy that in the town and bring it on board. We let you bring a drink on board if you like to. We just don't want you to put down a bottle in the middle of the bar.
Sure.
But any kind of wine, we don't charge a corking fee. And then that's part of the gregarious situation that's on board, is people like to find different wines and share it with their new friends.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's several questions about solo travelers. I will tell you, I'm a solo traveler. I have many friends and I use the word friends in the fact that all of my travelers become my friends. I have many travelers that are solo travelers. When we have couples, that travel with us as well. We all become a group. I've rarely been in the situation where I have anybody that kind of goes off on their own. When we come back to the ship at night, we meet on the deck, we have fun together. It's really a great camaraderie. And people do connect with one another. So I would not be afraid at all to be a solo traveler. Even if this is your first solo trip, I encourage you to come with us, because one thing that I've said is that my background comes from Girl Scouts. We are very inclusive. We love to make friends, and we want to make sure everybody is happy. So I would trust the process here and trust us to go out in this group and be a solo traveler. Right now, I'm just looking at the list of people who are booking, and we have several solo travelers booking already. So just, don't be afraid. I know it's a little bit scary to sign up for something that you don't necessarily know anybody going to, but we'll do things ahead of time where we'll meet each other through Zoom and some other ways that you'll become more comfortable before we go on this tour. Let's see. Did you see anything else, Kathy, that needed to be addressed that we did not address?
I think we've got everything.
Okay, awesome.
Everything I saw flashing, I think we addressed. Can you leave the ship in the evening? Absolutely, you can leave the ship in the evening. We will give you a time when the ship is departing, and all you need to do is be back before the ship leaves. We do have lock times, and we pay extra for our lock times at night. So we usually do our sailing at night, like I said earlier. So if you should be in town having a really good time and you miss the departure, you just have to know where we're going to be in the morning and take a taxi or a train to the next stop. But yeah, they will tell you many times when we're departing.
Yeah, and also I want to address the question. I know somebody missed it. Yes, there are bikes on board. Kathy, how many bikes are on board? They are free to use, and you could just sign up to use them and go off exploring.
There are 25 bikes on board. We are going to have several bike tours on this itinerary. When the bikes go out, the crew is in the front and the back of the bike tour. We give you your helmets. The gentleman in the back or the lady in the back will have a walkie-talkie in case you overestimate your biking ability. And then we will have a taxi or something come and get you in your bike. Then after the tour, after the bike tour, we line them up with helmets, and you can take them on your own. But the cruise manager does make sure that the person is capable of riding a bike prior to letting them on the tour.
Yep. A couple questions I'm just going to answer because I see them flying in. It's the Amalia. If you want to Google the Amalia, that is the ship that we're taking. I may have miscommunicated to those or some about the Budapest extension. The Budapest extension will include hotels. It will include tours. It will include transportation. It will be one price for that. What I'm saying is that it is not offered as part of the Amawaterways. So you will be paying Girl Travel Tours instead of Amawaterways is what I meant to say, because it's not a part of the itinerary, but we've added it as a stay behind. So that's what I'm trying to communicate if I wasn't clear on that. So I think that I'm going to go to the the booking form and see who's booked and give away 100 euros. How about that? Who's with me? Okay,
like
sorry?
I said it sounds like a plan. So is it for those people who have already booked?
Yes, this is just for the people who have booked as of this minute. This is just for the people who've booked as of this minute. So I am going to put you all into and I know that I've tried to, I see some people coming in at the last minute. I know I tried to communicate this. You are supposed to fill out one form per traveler. So if you are traveling with 2 people, you'll want to fill out one form per traveler. You may not have done that, so you only have 1 chance instead of 2 for the prize here. But please know that I will come back to you if you haven't done that. So where's my wheel? I'm gonna start a new wheel here. Just give me one moment. I'm gonna put the names in that I have thus far. I'm going to go to full screen. I'm going to share my screen. This is pretty darn exciting.
It is.
I love this. You know, we do a bingo every now and then, and we do this crazy wheel. So I'm going to share the screen with the wheel. I'm going to click to spin, and we're going to have a winner of 100 euros. And the winner is Doug. Doug, I am so glad. I hope you're on the line.
Well, congratulations, Doug.
Doug, you won 100 euros. And I'm going to go a very warm thank you from Kathy and me for joining us today. So if there aren't any more, so yes, if there aren't any more questions, I just want to thank you, Kathy, for being with us and bringing your expertise about Amawaterways and the Amalia to front and center for us. And then anybody out there, all of you who are attending, if you are still having questions, if you want to talk to me directly, this was, you know, sort of like a fun party, but if you want to step aside and really have a conversation with me and really go through details, of course, I am welcoming you to do that. You can call me, you can email me, we can set up a time to do that. The weekend is approaching and I have plenty of time to do that. So thank you very much for being with us. And Kathy, thank you again. I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for welcoming us into your homes. And we look forward to welcoming you aboard.
All right. Cheers.